Squeaky's on the windowsill, king of the throne. Charlie's got a feather toy, she's in her zone. Doobie's in the kitchen, knocking stuff down. 3 cats ruling this crazy little town.
Good everything to everyone. It was so hard not to say good morning. So I continue crocheting, but I haven't been doing that yet. So I thought I'd come on here and say hello. Hello. How are you doing today? Nobody ever answers me, but that's okay. I'd still be polite and ask. I dyed those 2 doilies that I'd found at the resale shops. Now, one of them, the stitches were so tight that every time I pulled it apart, it would just break. The other one, it would break, but that's because the yarn was weak and compromised. So those probably were vintage. Sorry, Pam. But, so there goes a whole bunch of yarn and a whole bunch of dye. You know what I'm left for with dye? Yellow. What do I do with yellow? I mean, I got 6 bottles of like yellow. I'm like, what do I do with yellow? I might throw it away. That's not cool. I'm gonna warn you, I am having a day where I'm finding words and things to talk about. I'm not distracted. It's just sometimes I don't know what to say. So here I am. I'm struggling this today to bring a video to you. Put my phone down. Just sitting here trying out stitches. I found this is one thing that I like to do. I found a mystery pattern that all it does is give me the picture. Not of the finished project, but like I showed you the graphs yesterday. It just gives me that. And I like to play it out. And that's the way I think of it is I'm like, I'm playing out this story in stitches. And another thing I will do is play it out with variegated yarn, because it's either going to be a speckled variegated like this mixed. This is just green and this color mixed. Or it's going to have stripes in it or something. And I play it out with the pattern that I start to see if it's going to look good. This one, again, I say I'm playing it out to find out what it looks like. Just, there's a woman, just vintage crochet. And her son picks out patterns for her without a picture. She just follows it. And now vintage has a lot of different terminology and a few stitches that don't really exist anymore in modern crochet. So it's pretty interesting to watch and to crochet along with her, because sometimes you end up with a quote unquote vintage piece, like from the 20s. But the reason I do follow her is because I want to do vintage patterns, and she explains the different terms and the different stitches and such. So That's what I'm doing today. I'm playing out a pattern. Oh, I just watched a video of it says a Brit reacts to, well, it's a Brit reacts, but he reacted to a video about Michigan, and he watched one about the Upper Peninsula. And it's funny because he's like, wow, it's beautiful there. You know what? It's beautiful there. It's beautiful there. Because it's so, I mean, it wasn't like a gay accent. Because you know how gay people have like this, oh my gosh, accent? Well, it wasn't like that. But he's like, oh, it's so beautiful there. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so I wrote in there, in his comments, it says, well, it is beautiful here. I cannot deny that. I said, I hear tell that we have London weather, which is cold and wet and snowy, and the mosquitoes will gladly pick you up and fly you over to Canada for free. I ruined his whole experience. He's like, ooh, I don't want to go there now. Oh, but he was watching the Upper Peninsula once. He thought skyscrapers and buildings and cities and all that kind of stuff. You know why? Because that's what everybody imagines Michigan. Because of Detroit. And who's in Detroit? The rappers. So everybody's like, oh, Detroit! Detroit! My mom called it the toilet. I think she did that in school and got in trouble or something. I don't remember the exact story. She will refresh my memory if she sees this video. Sometimes she sees them. Sometimes she does not. Most of the time, if she does see them, she doesn't say anything. If I get something wrong, she'll let me know. Thank you, Mom. And I will correct myself. It seems to be getting a little bit relief off of these dang bugs in my house. So I am actively getting rid of them. That one flea trap, I need to make more, but I don't have enough lights for it. Has caught a lot of fleas. I'm not going to show you again because I did empty it out because I don't like looking at it myself. That's gross. That's not only vermin, but it's dead vermin. And I'm like, ew. So I don't really like this situation. I don't really love this situation at all. I'm just, again, informing people on how I'm dealing with it and from the sources that told me how. Pam. It's not uncommon for people with pets to have them. Oh, Mom, when I was there, and I'm pretty sure Brownwin probably does too, when I was there, I inspected your kitty, and he does not. And you know I went down and I petted him because I'm probably one of the only people, and yes, it was a crowd of people. Mom's cat does not like my grandnephew. And I keep telling her, cats don't like people that are energetic. It scares them. They think they're going to hit them. They think they're going to get hurt. Sudden moves, loud noises. But boy, was he curious about this little monthling. Oh, was he curious about him. So he came out. So one of the times that he came out, because I was sitting off towards the room that the cat likes to hide in. And he really likes me. He will actually, I'm one of the people he will come up to and put it and get in my lap. Because he likes to be petted rough. And he likes to be petted backwards. And his tail downwards instead of upwards, you know. He doesn't like to be smoothed out. He likes to be roughed out. And he likes knuckles on the head. He's a weird cat. Well, he's a weird being. Cats are all weird. Anyway, so Aunt T does that kind of stuff for him. Well, as I was doing that in one of the intervals, obviously when you're raking across their fur, you're going to see if there's something in it. That Mom, Cece, Caesar is his name. Cece does not have fleas. Just to let you know, he does not have fleas. And I'm pretty sure my niece would probably let you know if he did. Because my niece cuts nails for him. And apparently she's the one that's been changing the litter box. Because every time I go over there, that litter box does not need to be changed. Usually what I go over there to do is tech support. I had to get me a dot on my head for that. Usually I go over there for tech support, dishes. If my niece hasn't been able to show up, I do laundry. But honestly, I am also one of Mom's companions, other than Dad. I give Dad somebody else to talk to, so he can leave her alone. Love you guys, love you, Dad. And I give her somebody else besides Dad to talk to. And then I get to talk to somebody else besides you guys. So it benefits all of us. And plus I get to get out of the house. I don't know. But I'm leaving that up to them to invite me because Dad is very autistic. Well, not very, like, he's on a tier 1. Just like me, a tier 1. So he gets overstimulated very, very easily. And as he has gotten older, it seems to have gotten a lot more irritating to him. Understandable, man. 80 some years on this planet, you're pretty much fed up with everything. I understand it. So I pretty much leave the visits up to them. They invite me. That way, Dad has a chance to prepare, to prepare to mask. Because I don't think that they are saying that masking is a lot for women, autistic women. But I think that not everyone, but I think each gender, male or female, try to mask. Try to look normal, especially in their generation. When I think, I'll have to look it up. It was either their generation or the generation before. There's a list of things you could throw your wife in the asylum for, including reading too many books. Reading too many books. You could throw her in the asylum for misbehaving. You could throw her in the asylum for having her monthly and for being menopausal. They could all be... Throw her in the asylum for breathing. So, I think people back then got locked up if they had different capabilities. So, if you had something that was different like that, you hid it. You did not let other people know that was going on with you. No. So, I think that the older ones that do have it and are finding out that they have it, they have a hard time unmasking because it was put in fear into them that they would be in asylum. Didn't mean you got a happy little vacation from life. Asylum was worse than prison because they did experiments on you. I don't know, prison might have been the same way back then. I don't know. But I hear tale that asylum, you didn't want to go there. So, I mean, even when I was growing up, when I was like 10, 11 or so, you hear schizophrenia, you think someone's crazy biting off the faces of, stuff and running around howling at the moon. And then come to find out, schizophrenia is just another capability that is different than everything else. It is a little weird because you do hear or see things that you're not supposed to. So people are like, what is wrong with you? Nothing. Nothing's wrong with me. That's just my chemical makeup. Sometimes, though, I think in certain cases of schizophrenia that it's almost either a defense, like multiple personalities, or it's your consciousness, you're attacking you. Or it could also be an information dump, like you grew up with people telling you so bad that you were this and you were that and you should go away and those kinds of things. And I mean, go away. So it manifests in your brain in a different way than somebody who had just in your brain as a chemical imbalance, because it can be corrected with medication. But your brain was, I don't know. It just doesn't, I don't know. Sometimes I think people say they have schizophrenia to get away with some stuff. They also say they have bipolar to get away with stuff. I'm not poo-pooing either one of those because they are real things. I have been diagnosed with both. I do not take their medication because I do not want their side effects. Side effect on all of these things. Like, my mom is allergic to all those medications. Every time she'd get on one of them, she'd either start freaking out like she is schizophrenic, have a really bad bipolar breakout, or it would like physically make her ill to take them. And so she can't take them either very well. And I found with me that they made the conditions worse too. And not only did they make the conditions worse, it was stuck in my head, whatever would have come out outwardly. It was still up here, and I had to sit there and hear it all the time. But I was drugged out to the point that you didn't have to suffer. And I'm like, why do I have to be the only one uncomfortable here? So by all means whatsoever, and that is another reason Aunt T isolates. By all means whatsoever, I should have medication. Lots of it. But some of them, I think, are misdiagnoses. Because I am looking at other people with autism on YouTube. And I am thinking, oh my gosh, that is me to a T. And I'm like, that's me. That it isn't just the autism, it's the ADHD as well that ties in with it. The ADHD. I am basically crippled in my brain, in my mind. It's scattered. It's uncategorized. I can't make it stop. And yes, their medication claims to do that, but it also claims to eat your liver and your kidneys. It also claims to give you certain cancers. I'm just going to say it. It claims to give you certain cancers. It claims to be toxic. It's like brain rot or gut rot. What do I choose? So I chose the brain rot because at least then I still have a personality. I may have to go back on their medications, though, looking at what's going on in the government. But that's a tale for a different story. Oh, I'm wondering, because I think they said yes. I have proof online, and I can look it up. I actually took screenshots of it so I don't have to look it back up. And I also sent myself a link to it. That I own this property. My dad's name's on it too. I did not know that. I thought it was just my name. But then, again, he would have had to have been on it because nobody with my credit would have sold me a house. That's one reason I have a house, is because nobody would rent to me because of my chaos and because I couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't remember to pay my bills. And that's where the medication would have kicked in and thought, but again, gut rot or brain rot? Brain rot because I like to share. Oh. That saying, I'd rather burp and taste it than fart and waste it. Well, farting, everybody gets to benefit. That's awfully selfish of you just to burp and keep it to yourself. Oh my gosh, Aunt T. I've always said that, though. Again, this pattern is starting out to look like filet crochet. And that's one of my favorite stitches. Because if I were to make a tank top out of all of this, crochet is going to be see-through. Unless you get a little teeny tiny, like, teeny tiny hook with this thicker yarn and you away at it. Because I've seen some that was pretty solid, but it was somebody took a lot of time and probably went blind by the end of that project. So what they do in a bathing suit situation for like a brassiere, they crochet that, and they sew a liner in so you can't see through it. Usually a nude looking liner. A nude color liner. So it kind of matches the skin. So it looks like you should be seeing through it, but you can't. So in those little spots, that doesn't really work for me so well. Some people just make more solid stitches in the places where you don't want to see through. Or some people might be dirty and want to see through it. But still, I don't see where that can be, I don't know, protective of your privacy. And some people don't mind that they're not private. I do. I got too many lumps and bumps to have to air my dirty laundry like that. And there I go, airing dirty laundry in a different direction. I'm gonna have to, for today, walk down to the price gouger and grab a couple of cans of cat food, because grocery money comes tomorrow. I ran out of cat food cans today. I could get on a bike and go down, but I don't want to buy a whole thing of that. Of course, the cans they have of that's going to cost the same price as a package of them. I don't know. But I'm going to have to go get them some cans of food because they ran out last night. But again, food money comes tomorrow. And I would rather order food and their supplies and have it all done with, instead of have them come here today and then come here again tomorrow. But it just so happened that they ran out of food. Well, this morning. I opened the last can this morning. So I better get myself down there and in either one of the directions and get them some, or they're going to be yelling at me. Actually, he does sometimes, but Squeaky has not been asking for his food as much. And I know that he's feeling better. His eyes look better. He smells better. Yada, yada, yada. He does howl at me when he feels that he's got too many fleas on him. And when he feels he's got too many fleas on him, I take care of that. I would yell if I had. I have been yelling. I'm like, ah! I don't like them. I do not like them. They're not my friends. Doobie is still not part of the group. The cat group. She wants to be. She wants to play with Squeaky so bad. It's not even funny, but he sounds like a little witch when he comes up to her. But yet, Charlie and Squeaky can lay there and cuddle together. So, and because of, I think it's the diatomaceous earth, she won't come over to me on the bed. She'll sit on my bike and yell for me to come get her. And I have to do something about that and cover up the handlebars, because that's one of her favorite places to scratch. Brat. Throw you to the moon. We're not ruining my vehicle that I paid whatever I paid. That's a one-time opportunity, cat. With your nails. I don't even know if you can replace the rubber on there. She already ate up all my, scratched up all my yoga mats. The other day, I was sitting here. Remember I keep saying Squeaky's so skinny, Squeaky's so skinny? I was sitting here crocheting, and I look up every once in a while so that I can refocus, even if I don't have my glasses on, because I will get eye strain. Because you see, These little teeny tiny stitches. Okay. He was standing on my desk that I can see from here. And I go, come here, Doobie. And she was ignoring me. I'm like, Doobie Doo, come here, come see Mama. And I put my glasses on. It was squeaky. So, yeah, that's how tiny he is. Poor boy. He not giving it up, though. He's Rick Astley or something. I just Rickrolled you. I like that song. People make fun of it, and I don't know why. But I like that song. Now, don't flood me with it, because I will get sick of it, and I'll be like, no, I don't like it anymore. But I do like the song. It's catchy. It's got a nice tune. It's got a nice message. It feels like the upbeat tune and tone of it, matches the words. I'm not going to give you up, and I'm happy about it. That's what it feels like to me. It's just a fun song to me about somebody who really loves whoever he's with. And some people are like, oh, earworm. I'm going to hear that for 45 years now. Thanks, Aunt T. Matter of fact, Alana brought that to my attention because she would sit there and listen to it over and over because, well, that's one of her things. She likes to do repetitive things over and over. Like when she was little, for, maybe a year or two, she wanted Green Eggs and Ham, the book, at bedtime every night. But she wanted it at bedtime read 3 or 4 times in a row every night. And I was like, can we try another book? Yeah. And then Green Eggs and Ham. I couldn't get her off of it. I'm like, oh my goodness. So she's one of the ones that loves repetitive motions and things. And she has things going on. Like she flaps her arms when she's excited. She will literally look like one of those, those dolls that you used to have a ripcord on it and it would fly, and it had that posture where her hands were out like this and straight down because of aerodynamics. Alana will jump up in the air looking like that when she's excited about something. So that's how we knew that she was autistic. I don't know if I have a stim. The only stim I can think of, and it may be a masking stim, is crochet. Because I've done this to the point where I've injured my hand in one day. And it keeps my hands busy. So, my hair. Pam noticed it and showed it to me. My hair, I'm always messing with it. She says, that's part of stimming. That's echolage. I don't remember what it's close to that word. Me messing with my hair and bringing attention to it and all that stuff all the time. That's part of it, I guess. They are saying, and I don't know how much I believe this because I don't have the credentials to diagnose myself, but there are a few sources that I saw on TikTok and YouTube that say that a self-diagnosis of autism is just as good as a professional diagnosis, because you can barely get a professional diagnosis of autism. Unless it's like really, really obvious. I don't know how true that is. And I don't know how reliable that is. And I don't know if I were to present, say, Social Security with that, if they would take that. Because they could sit there, any normal person off the road could sit there and say, oh, I'm autistic. So I don't. So I will always say, I assume that I am, rather than saying that I am. Oh, I have one fan on because I was too lazy to turn it off last night. It's chilly in here this morning, which I'm grateful for. Last week, I would have given my left leg for a break in the weather like this. And I know the saying is not left leg, but I'm keeping it friendly. Not everybody likes curse words, and not everybody likes references to body parts like that. Gonna have to pause you in a minute because I am at a slump for words again. Probably go back and watch another video. Bring you some more information, some more gossip. Oh, look, it looks like DNA. I'm creating DNA. That's what I was going to say yesterday when I went off on my tangent of patterns and how I save them in my phone. What I was proposing to myself to do is to create the pattern, play with the stitch, don't take it apart, and dye the thing. And then if you don't like the thing, it's already dyed and you can play with it in a different pattern. So I had forgotten. I just went on a tangent of how I saved them and how I get them with me. And I'd forgotten that wasn't the point of the story. I'd watched my video again when I was editing, and I'm like, I don't have a spot to put this in. Because I went back and I had added a video and then that segment and then another video together, so I didn't have to do it again while I was editing. So that's where I was going with that one, is I am going to just simply make them up. And plus, if I make them up and I don't like them and they're laying around, which I really need to get some sort of storage bin for that, then I can either decide what to do with them as a whole piece or take them apart and make a different piece with them. I really like taking projects apart. A lot of people do not. They're like, all that work. And I'm like, yeah, I can always do it again if I want to. Ooh, I forgot to. Speaking of taking things apart, I forgot to chain one right there. And I could tell because the stitch was like this instead of like this. It was more of an A instead of an H. Make sure I did that. Yep, it looks okay the rest of the way. But I'm like 10 stitches down, I'm like, that don't look right. Because it wasn't. Forgot to chain one. And with these, if you forget to chain one, you might as well, I don't know. Like I said, what it is called when you take it out in the crochet community, and it may be the knitting community as well. It's called frogging. And the reason it is called frogging is because you rip it and rip it and rip it. I don't know who came up with that term, but it's cute. There we go. Here's something else I recommend if you do crochet. Do learn to find the back bump and crochet in it. Don't do it on the side, because when you do that, you have a finished edge. And I could go back and crochet on this side as well as this side, which is where I'm doing that. So I recommend, if you are crocheting, find this bump right here in the back and use it. Or if you can't find that and use it, make sure you know how to do a trim, because it will not sit as flush as this will. And I started doing that. I mean, when I started crocheting like straight lines other than granny squares, because I did granny squares for years and years and years and years. I would do the same thing and not find the back bump, and I was too lazy to do this and that and another thing. But I found that if I did do a finished project, I didn't have to go around and border it, because it was already bordered. It didn't have like an unfinished look to it. Man, I guess this whole thing's about what, crochet today? Well, I mean, that's what's on my mind too, is crochet. There we go. Because that's just what I want to do. Again, I'm going to have to get dressed and go get another. They got half a can, which is good enough for one more meal for all three of them. I kind of heavy slop my hand on Squeaky's food. I do this. It's kind of like the Three Bears. Squeaky gets a lot. Doobie gets a mid-size, and Charlie gets barely any. The reason Charlie gets barely any is because Charlie likes the gravy and leaves the rest. And if I happen to overfeed her and leave the rest, I'll look at one of them two. Like in the breakfast time, I'll give it to Squeaky. In the lunch time, I'll give it to Doobie. If it's dinner time, I give it to Squeaky. If it's, so I alternate who gets the extra food. I should be giving it to Squeaky. He's used to having it from her. But again, Doobie's still a growing baby, so she needs it. Charlie, I don't know. She doesn't seem to be she's getting better slowly. But her eyes are still doing the thing in the corners of it with the third eyelid. She's still got loose poopies. And someone, or all three of them, have gas. Like phantom fart. Because it wasn't me. And I'm like, wow, I hope you hit the litter box with that one. Phew. And then when they do that, I look around and see, where did you leave it? Most of the time they did not. It was just a flying fart in the middle of the air, but sometimes I find a poo-poo at the end of my bed, because one did it, the rest of them will, and you can't get rid of that smell, so they're always good. You know what I should do? purchase a 4th and a 5th litter box. Put one right directly at the bottom of my bed. I don't step there anyway. That's where that curtain is. Put one right at the bottom of my bed. If they're gonna do it there, give them a reason to do it there. Don't let them ruin your stuff. So I might order those tomorrow as well. When I order their cans of food. Because honestly, I know cats mess, and I know that I know, and I know a lot of things that I need to change. Not because I should have when they first got here, but because I'm learning their patterns now that I need to change for myself. And that means getting a litter box where they're going to mess. I might have to buy 3 new litter boxes. Well, 5 new litter boxes. Because I've had these ones since before Charlie, I think. No, I think when King died, I got new ones. But there's always been one extra litter box. That's another place I could put it in the Great Beyond. But if I put it in the Great Beyond by Alana's room, I will forget that it's there. Because I won't see it. And I won't smell it because I have that plastic door up in there. But I always had an extra litter box. There were 2 cats, so 3 litter boxes. Well, right now I have 3 litter boxes. And they're older ones. And they probably should just be changed out. So, guess who's getting new boxes? Probably payday, not tomorrow. I think I'll just have them bring me some litter tomorrow. And you know what? I swore that I wasn't going to do this because they have to lift stuff all day long. But I might just buy the big bag of it. I mean, I didn't run out of... Well, I ran out of litter. But that was last night. Again, it's kind of coordinated with how I ran out of the food. And their boxes are clean right now. I've been trying to be very meticulous with it because, again, somebody got ill over there. I did not find the mess until it had been cold, but it was still wet, and I'm like, ew. So that smell was still there, even though I cleaned the object that it was on. Somebody peed in my towels yesterday. I put them on top of my clothing. Luckily, it didn't look like it sinked all the way through. But I put them on top of my clothing, and I turned around, there was a wet spot on there. I'm like, which one of you did that? That was a blatant middle finger to me. Charlie and Squeaky do not like Doobie, and it might be a behavior because they don't like her and they don't want to go where she goes. Or she knows they don't like her and she doesn't want to go where they go. I'm going to have to figure this out because this is not acceptable. And that's one of the reasons I'm talking to you today about it, because talking out loud to me helps the gears start. And it's gross. It's part of being a pet owner. My sibling across the road, her cats would go in this certain spot in front of the door all the time in her kitchen. All the time. So you know what she did? She put a litter box there. And it worked. So where they're leaving messes, I'm going to have to put a litter box there. And train myself again on how to deal with 3 cats. I was used to the 2. I knew their personalities, yada, yada, yada. But I have a 3rd cat now. I asked Google if it was okay that I was the only cat that accepted her. And Google said sometimes that's just what happens. Sometimes they do not accept a new cat. Sometimes, because I said it's been like 2 months, and Google said it could take longer than that. It could be to the point where they can live in the same house and tolerate each other, but never really like each other. And Pam told me one of her, well, unfortunately, that one did pass away, but she told me one of her that her cats had groups like that. This one liked that one, but didn't like that one. But that one was okay with all of them. So, I may be the only one in the house that does love her ever. Doesn't matter. Squeaky's on his way out the door one of these days too. Anyway, but it happens. You outlive your pets. Pets do not stay forever. Pets are glimmers of hope in the darkness when you need them. Pets are hugs to get you through to the next stage and into the light. That's what pets are. And when it seems to me, when the higher powers of be decide that you have gotten through that lump and it may take years, your pet passes away. It's very coincidental to me. So, let's see, did I miscalculate? Yes, I did. There's one extra stitch. So guess what? When you get an extra stitch, you can, this one I'm not going to because it's really tiny. Maybe I can. You can pull it out, or, and the reason I'm trying it now, see, there's the extra stitch here. That's where the slip knot was when I started. And you can pull it out. Let me get my hook to do this. That's just frankly going to hurt my sausage fingers. And now, the extra stitch is gone. That's the stitch I'm working with. The extra stitch, get out of the way, yarn. The extra stitch is gone. Or, and I should have did this too, because that long piece there is going to annoy just annoy me. You can just sit there and slice it off. You can cut it off where that knot was, and you end up with a smaller piece. I like to start out with a longer piece too, because these are all tricks of the trade that I've learned elsewhere. These are not things that I thought up. When you need an extra stitch on your chain, you can put it in. You could put it in the bottom here and just bring it up and give yourself more chains to work on. I just made 3 more stitches. I don't need those, so bye. I taught Evan how to crochet. He was making slip knots to play with Journey. And he would make a slip knot here, and a slip knot here, and a slip knot here. And I said, give me that rope. And I took the slip knot and I started pulling the yarn through each knot. And then I kind of tied it off and I handed it to him. And I looked at him and I said, "That's crochet." So I pulled the tie off out and I said, "Pull that." And he did. And I said, "You just learned how to make a chain in crochet." He said, "I did?" I said, "Yep." I do that with my grandnephew too. I'll hand I don't have a big piece of yarn here to show you, but you can actually crochet without a hook. I haven't been able to build up. Here's one. I haven't been able to build up further than doing just a chain. When I was a kid, I'd make my own shoelaces. You make your slip knot, and I don't know how to teach you how to do that. I wrap it around my finger like I'm going to make a magic circle. I pull it up through the middle, and there's your slip knot. And watch, you can pull it, but you can take your finger and pull it through, and pull it through, and pull it through, and pull it through, and make a chain. Again, I have not figured out how to, I might try it here. Yeah, that's awkward to do without a hook. But at least you can get a starting chain without one. And I would make these really tight. Then I would cut them off, and I would put puffy paint, because I didn't know anything about shoe goop at that time, because I don't even know if they had it invented yet. I would cut it off about this far, and I would take puffy paint and I would squish it into it, and it would harden, and I would make shoelaces. See, it disappeared just like that. Leave me alone, yarn. Ah! My finger's just sticking to it. Oh. So, you guys just got a crochet lesson. But yeah, they call that finger crocheting. And I'm pretty sure you can rebuild up without a hook and do that. But it felt awkward to me because I'm used to doing it the other direction with a hook. I am hooker. I am not finger. I am hooker. I'm not finger. When I walk away from my project, if I can find one, I usually put a stitch marker in that last piece. You can untangle it. You can pull this up like that. And usually what I do when I don't have a stitch marker in it, and this is how I learned, I learned it from, again, another person on YouTube I found. Alison Russell. I think she's Scottish. I think. She has an accent from that area. And she has a lot of different... She's the one that told me how to pull that out. She's the one that told me to put a stitch marker in there. Because if I'm getting into bed and it's laying there, it's going to pull. And it's going to pull that stitch out. And it's like... And then it's going to pull several stitches out. But this keeps that from doing that. So I try to have a habit of that. And then here's another idea I just thought of, and it may be out there. Stick it to my yarn. So it's all put together. And I don't have to look for it, and it's not tangled into everything. But I do have to get up. Something interesting I noticed about these lights is they will burn out. They will absolutely burn out, because I'll be walking through the house during the day and I'll be like, and the light's blinking. But if they are plugged in like they are, they'll recharge. Oh, I don't want to put that there. I'll put this here. Don't let me forget it's up there. They'll recharge. And then you can turn around and use them again, but they'll burn out while okay, I need a break for a minute. Just give me a break. Sorry. So yeah, they'll burn out. I need to do that too. I need to get my big light and plug it in. One of you 123 people, thank you for being here. Watches my video before I can. Yes, I do. I go back on my phone and my tablet to make sure that it looks okay on YouTube. So I watched this thing 3 or 4 times. Yes, I'm tired of seeing my own face. But before I can even do it, there's already 1 view. I'm like, I just published that. Who's watching this? Thanks. Love ya. Yeah, I still need to go. But I had that thought in my head. I'm like, that's just, I mean, it's fun, but it's just strange to me. I do need to go plug that in because I enjoy having that in the middle of my kitchen. Probably if I'm getting back up again, I should just wander down to the store. I'm not gonna take you with because it's just going down to the dang store. That's something that Moody used to like to do too. Everywhere I went, can I see a video? Can I see a video? I'm like, dude, I don't feel like whipping my phone out all the time. And again, he never sent me a video of where he was. Never. I walked down to the beach. Here's a picture. Looked like a stock picture. Here's some flowers I found on the way. One picture of that. Could have been a stock picture too. I don't know. He just never... But he was adamant that I was going to give him a video and entertain him. I don't know. That's a red flag, again, that just surfaced in my head. And I said, they're going to pop up, and they're going to pop up when they feel like it. And sometimes it'll be on camera, and sometimes it'll be off camera, but I choose to do a video to let you know that that one surfaced this time. Well, I really should walk down there. Did I skip a stitch? No, I did not. Just looked like it. Teeny tiny stitches. This has got stains on it too. Little tiny, almost. I don't know. It could have been coffee with creamer in it. Because that leaves a different stain than just black coffee. If you drop black coffee on something, if you wash it, it ends up being like a black stain, not brown. Sometimes it's brown, depending on, I don't know. depending on how thick your coffee is, you can make it brown, make it turn more of a vintage color. See, look, teeny tiny stitches. But where I found that it's more brown, more of a brown, yellow brown, like this color back here, or that color, more like this brown color here, the darker, is if you've had milk in it. And milk helps it stain so well. Oh my goodness. If you thought you couldn't get black coffee out, coffee with milk in it, never. So that is one of the reasons I am using this to sample, is because if I sample it, I can dye it and you won't see the brown speckles in it. I do. You might not see it anyway. You're not going to come walking up to me going at my stitches either, because if you stand that close to me, you might probably get a fist in your face. Unless you're a little tiny kid. But if you're an adult and you're standing that close to me, we better be in a relationship, or you're getting a fist in your face. And one more exception to that rule is if you're an adult and you can't help it. And I know you can't help it. Otherwise, get out of my bubble. Get out of my butthole. So, I mean, I can't even see. I can't even show you. Maybe this right here. That little teeny... I mean, my finger's over it. You can't see it. I can. But that's because I'm seeing it. Oh, there's some. I'm not going to even try. If I pointed out every mistake I made in the crochet, you'd see it. But otherwise, you wouldn't. I told you, when an artist makes art, they throw in a mistake on purpose, just to make sure it isn't perfect. I don't even know how many stitches I put in here. It said increments of 25, so I just counted 25, and then 25, and then 25, and then 25, until I felt that this was as wide as I wanted it to be. About the, you can't see in my camera, about the width of a bath towel. That's what it is. That's about the width I would need, excuse me, to finish up that Paris piece of cloth if I were to put it as a blouse around me. And what I will do with that is find a piece of nude material and in the bits and pieces I don't want you to see, just sew that part in. I probably should practice my stitches on doilies. Aha! Auntie! Shut up. You have an idea, and it can be a surprise for somebody. Auntie just got an idea. Steve from Blue's Clues used to get letters. I get ideas. Sorry, Steve. So I think he has his hand in writing the show now. I can't be positive on that. I can be positive on the fact that I think that I'm going to turn this around and turn those into like buttonholes for the edge rather than, and I could have did a row of solid crochet and made it like that too. I don't know. I am just doodling. That's something else he would do. I'd be like, he'd say, "What do you, WYD, what are you doing?" "Crocheting." "What are you making?" "Can I see?" "No, I'm not making it for you." So if I didn't feel like telling him what I was making because I wasn't sure, I just said, "I'm doodling. I'm making a doodle. I don't know what I'm making." "Oh, okay." So right now I'm doodling. In my pants. On the screen. In front of people. Really, Auntie? You're doodling? Yep, I am. And this is the third time that thought came into my head. So well, I did it. I got my light plugged in after 3 times of mentioning to you that I need, well, 2 times, and then getting up and thinking, this is the 3rd time you thought that. So I got my light plugged in, got dressed, went down to the price gougers, got 3 cans of food. 2 is pate, and they don't like that. And the other one is 9 lives and chunky, and they don't like that either, but at least it's something on their plate, and they may not complain about it. I know Doobie will probably eat it. Doobie will eat hers, his, and the other ones too. She want if I let her. So there's all that. I got all that done, and I'm back to crocheting again. I sometimes, whoops. Here, see, little teeny tiny stitches. Full on freaking panic attack because I had to get out of the house and walk down the store. I'm not too bad in a car, but just being out there with other people, maybe they'll see me. Maybe they'll see me. My heart's going. And it isn't from walking. But when you have no other choice, because you have dependent animals on you, you have to forego that. It's like children. Hi, Twinkle Baby Ham Boy. You could come see the mama. Come here. Come here. It's another reason I'm really glad that Walmart delivers to me, because I don't have to go be in Walmart. Walmart, however, has always been a giant trigger to me since I worked there. And it got to the point that I'd go to Walmart. There'd be 2 people in there, and I'd be like, there's a crowd. I need to leave now. And I'd get in the car, and no matter what everybody else had to do, I'd ask, can we go home? I need to go home. I need to go to bed. No, we have other stops. And I know for positive when we were getting along, that one, every time, would say, I know you hate this, but one more stop. Oh yeah, and I forgot. One more stop. Then we could go home. Asshole. Sorry, and then, as I'm talking to Pam, she types back to me, we just had an earthquake. I made a joke about it, of course. And then there's supposed to be a hurricane coming to them. I don't know what's going on in this world, man. I do not know what's going on. I'm glad that store is like 5 feet away. Well, not 5 feet. I'm exaggerating. It's probably about a block. I mean, just about anybody can make it a block. So, I'm glad it's there. Oh, guys. Well, rather than sit here to have a panic attack in front of you, because I'm still feeling panicky, I'm actually going to cut this short and say, thanks for listening. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Bye.